aside from branding, I tried to throw in some packaging in there.
Okay.
Right.
Something new. I like it.
So this is a project that I've done for my Packaging 1 class. We had to redesign a beverage.
Design a beverage.
Right, so I just chose vodka.
Big vodka drinker?
No, I'm not. The bottle just looked cool.
Yeah. Okay.
I think back then, actually no, this is my oldest project in my portfolio.
This is, okay,
yeah, this
what
one.
was this from, what year? Same, like 2013?
I think I don't remember, 2012 or 2013.
Ooh, going way back.
2013, I would say, yeah.
Okay, so oldest one today, okay.
Yeah.
So in theory, we should see the biggest gap between where you are now and this project, right?
This one,
Okay.
it didn't have any meaning. I think I just wanted to make something pretty. I think I was like second, third term. I didn't really learn anything about meaning behind projects.
So I think that's really interesting. You didn't really have a plan, it seemed like. So how did you make your decisions? Like, because I see a bottle. There's like lots of red and white, and like it looks very kind of like Russian propaganda.
Right.
Even like down to the typeface too.
Yeah,
So
I was very into like constructivism, that kind of style.
Okay.
So I'm like, oh, I like red. Throw red in there. Oh, I want to do like 2-panel sticking kind of thing. This one is on the front of the bottle, and the sticker is on the back of the bottle.
on the back, okay.
I think I saw that somewhere. I'm like, oh, that's cool. So I'm gonna do that. All my decision was based on, oh, that's cool. I'm gonna do that.
So totally arbitrary.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think that makes sense. Like as a young designer, like I remember doing that too. You get an assignment and you just want to try things out.
Yeah.
You just want to test stuff and just throw it in there because you like it. And there's no real reason or thinking behind it necessarily. Although at least you had a theme here. It's like Russian propaganda thing or vodka.
And it was vodka.
Yeah. So you got that going for you.
Yeah.
But this makes sense as like one of the earliest pieces in your portfolio. I think that's where everyone starts. You just want to make things that look cool to you. You want to try out ideas, and you're not really thinking about the bigger underlying meaning behind the decisions that you're making.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about Morse vodka, so I can't say, I don't know, this goes against everything that they're about.
No, this is actually a made-up name.
Oh, it's made up.
I
Okay.
don't remember what it meant, but it was 2 words mashed up together.
Okay.
I think it was like the origin of where vodka came from and stuff like that.
Okay.
But it was so long ago, I can't remember.
So this is like Emily Xie brand vodka.
Yeah.
You just made this up. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. What do you think when you look at this now, knowing what you know?
It's like, wow, I really explored back then. I think I'm over the style.
Okay.
Yeah. I was really into that vector constructivism style, but now I think I'm just over it. I don't want to do anything like this anymore.
When you look at like the type and the layout and everything,
like design-wise.
Yeah. From just pure design, what do you think about this now?
I think I still like the box packaging, but not necessarily the labels here. They're like very chaotic. Like I said, everything was arbitrary. I think a little bit of TLC would be better.
Yeah. It's nice when there's a story that you can connect it to.
Yeah.
Because if there's not, all you can do is look at it and make just a subjective, like, I like it, I don't like it, and it doesn't really mean much to anyone.
Yeah.
And rather it means something very different to everyone. So, yeah. I think like you nailed it with the theme. The theme is good. Like other than that, it's
there's
kind of
no story.
Yeah, it's kind of
like,
tough, Like sure, it could be a vodka brand, even though it's a gin bottle. I don't know. Like the shape of the bottle is interesting. Okay, it's tough to say.
Yeah.
But it makes sense that this is the oldest piece in your portfolio. Okay, is this still in your portfolio?
No, I took it out.
Okay.
Nope. This is a group project
Right.
for Almeric Surf. We did a promotional video for a surfboard company, and so we sculpted little miniature surfboards and little guy, and we kind of filmed a video where it would look like stop motion, but it wasn't.
But it was okay.
Yeah, so we had to kind of like walk the character by hand. My 2 other teammates were illustration majors, so that helped a lot. They helped sculpt the characters, and I helped painted some.
This is so different than everything. Okay, so this is like a whole miniature set that you guys built. What is this made out of?
I forget what they're called, but you could buy them at Blix, where you could bake it and then it becomes hard.
Like Sculpey or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. Is this character based off someone, like an existing, like a
typical, stereotypical surfer?
Just a surf bro?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. What was the thinking behind making a video using like a miniature set and like clay characters and stuff?
Just something that we thought it was cool and wanted to try.
Oh, art school. You could just do it. You could just make it.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm pretty sure I've seen like a live action video that looks like very similar to this.
Right. Oh yeah. That we wanted to go away from that.
Right.
Far away from, because we see a lot of those live action. They're like shot so beautifully, but we wanted to make something different for the story to stand out.
Got it.
Yeah.
That's nice. I see you're like, changing angles. There's a lot of depth. I mean, there's no like real wide angles, but I imagine it's pretty hard to do unless you make a very big set.
Right.
Oh, you have this guy on the beach.
Woke up super early for these shots.
Yeah. So this was a group project, something very different, maybe not what you would expect in a graphic designer portfolio. But what did you do, and how did this inform what you do as a designer? Like, what did you learn from this experience?
I mainly learned how to use Premiere Pro in this project, right? Because I didn't have any experience in sculpting, so a lot of the set I wasn't part of doing. Like, all I helped was maybe paint the sculptures, but everything from making, the 2 other team members helped. And I helped with some filming too, so I kind of learned some filming techniques, or like which lens to use, although I forgot which lens. But you're supposed to use a very shallow depth of field like lens or something, because we wanted to capture the grain of the sanding thing. Right.
But you wanted the background like way out of focus.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. That is a challenge with shooting miniatures, like the lensing and everything. Right. You're almost always going to get that shallow depth of field, because usually, and you'll see this a lot with like tilt shift photography, where you can make something look very, very small by using a very shallow depth of field. So like when you see those photos of a cityscape, like an aerial view, and then one building is in focus, and then like everything else in the foreground and background is super blurred out. It looks like you're looking at like a little miniature city. So that's tough to avoid when you're actually photographing something that small. You have to use like a really long lens. Cool. Let's move on. I recognize this project.
You recognize this project.
I do recognize this project.
Because this is a project from Blind.
Yes, that's right. Okay, and this was done during your internship, right?
This was done when I was freelancing.
Freelancing. Okay, so this is after graduation.
No, I freelanced during school.
During school?
Yeah, so I would place my classes all towards the beginning of the week or towards the end of the week. And so the rest of the week I would come here at Blind and work on projects. Smart.
Use that. So this is a really kind of big project. This is like one of our first branding projects. Yeah. So what role did you play, and what was your experience like?
I think I played the role of doing logo explorations, stylescapes. I think I was involved with the process from the beginning to the end. So I learned a lot of website designing.
Right.
Yeah, did the website, and also lots of print mock-ups, all the collateral mock-ups. Yeah.
Cool. And this was, let's see, we didn't work on this together. This was Matthew's project, right? For Q? Okay.
I think this was the beginning of 2016.
2016, okay. Yeah. So let's scroll through it. What do you have on here from Q?
I have the initial stylescapes that we've done.
Okay.
Right.
And you did all 3 of these?
No, I did the last one.
You did the last one?
But I just wanted to show like all the styles we've explored.
Got it.
And then what we've landed.
And emphasize, this is the one they picked. Mine,
oh, no,
the one I did. That. Thank you. Cool. Okay. So the stylescapes, and then some mock-ups for the the website. Yeah, right.
Yeah, the website. So I did a lot of variations on the website carousel. I remember we did like maybe 10 and we had to narrow down to like 4 or 5.
So what was it like working on a professional branding project that also is like red, black, and white, as opposed to
a lot of my work is red,
ones.
black, and white.
Yeah. What was the biggest difference? Because now you have a client. Now this is real. There's a team working on it, and before you're like, I like this vodka. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
So what was that like?
At school, it was really like I could do whatever I want as long as it looks good. You don't have to worry about how to produce it. But in the real world, I remember I was making the carousel, and it had to be responsive.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So you got to think about the technical aspect of it, how to make it work on an actual website, and then this one, we had to make a type a certain way so people can code it in.
What I'm hearing is, it sounds like you have to think about the application.
The application, yeah.
Like this is going to live on as something more than just a portfolio piece for school. Like someone has to later take this, code it, and as you said, it needs to be responsive.
It all has to work.
Yeah. It has to work. It has to look good. It has to be consistent with the brand and everything, and it has to work. Most important.
That's the most important thing that I learned.
Okay, so what else did you do for Q? So we're going through the website here. Okay, this is a nice presentation and mock-up for everything. I like that. Look at how this looks compared to what we were first looking at. Like big difference, right? I mean, I've been working with you for years and I've seen it, but to really stop and look at it, you can see such a big gap, right, between where you came from entering as an intern student and what you're able to produce now. Okay. All right, and then there was print collateral for this too. Okay. So what was the most challenging thing about this project for you? As like a first time professional branding designer?
I think website design.
Yeah,
it was, I think I was just dabbing into how to design a website. So this is kind of like the second real website or in-depth website that I've ever designed. So I didn't really know how to do it, the user experience and also the interface. So everything I had to start from the beginning just to test it out.
And where did you start? Because we were like, okay, let's design this website. Go, Emily. What do you remember what you did first? Like, what were you thinking?
I think I just read over the strategy deck like a bunch of times and try to get like what the user wants, what they want to see on the first page.
Right.
Like what their need was.
So what do you do in a situation like that where you're given a problem or a task that you've never encountered before?
I think I looked a lot at website inspiration blogs just to see how other people design their website, what kind of interaction or design the drop-down menu can look like, how each of those sections can look like. So I can, brainstorm in my head, maybe this can apply to Q, stuff like that.
Yeah, I'll do the same thing. I'll try to find people who are much smarter and more experienced than me who have done this before and study them. Yes, exactly. And try to reverse engineer their process and what did they learn from it. And sometimes we'll call them and we'll say, hey, look, we have this thing, I see that you do it. I need some help or a consultation, or can you, help me understand how this whole thing works? And there's no shame in doing that either. I think you would do yourself a disservice by just kind of lying about what you know and know how to do. People respect honesty, and if
they will be happy to help you too.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a tactful way to say, I don't know how to do this, but I know someone who does, and I can help you solve this problem. And I feel like that's what a good designer would do, Let's take a look at what you worked on here.
Okay. So at first we worked on the logo, which has a bar on the bottom, which means the bottom line of the company, or they're helping their customers to reach the bottom line of their company.
Right. So what is Tango?
an IT management site.
Okay. Yeah.
I know what it is. I don't know what it is.
It's been a while. It's been a few years since we worked there, so that's okay. All right. So you helped develop this logo. Okay. And I remember you guys working through this and talking with Chris about it. And it looks like this is some signage below.
This is just a mock-up poster that we showed to the client and how their brand would look like if this was a poster.
Okay. And sorry, let's give this some context. This is still in school or?
Yeah, still in school.
Still in school. So this is like the moonlighting after hours of school kind of thing.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay, got it.
Okay. Yeah. This is when I learned where this collateral here, if you were to show it in school, they'll be like, oh, it's boring. But it fit with our profile, our customer profile.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe not super flashy and what, like breaking new ground in terms of design aesthetic, but
it was what our customer wanted.
Yes. Yeah. And it helped solve a design problem for the client. So, all right, so this, all these mock-ups. Was this like, I'm seeing significantly more mock-ups than I have in all previous projects. Is this like you just kind of found a mock-up website and went nuts here? Got it, okay, okay. So some signage. All right, and so website also, all right. And this was the first.
Right.
The first experience with website. Okay. Okay, cool. All right. So as your first branding project compared to now, I mean, we've worked on so many different ones at this point in time. When you look back on this, because this is kind of like your first professional step. Yeah. Technically you're still a student, but this is professional work. What do you see here compared to where you are now after having done so many of these?
I think it's not necessarily what I see. I remember it's just what I felt.
Yeah.
I remember I didn't know how to use the strategy deck that Chris gave me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting, yeah.
When I did the stylescape, he was like, does this go back to what our customer wants? And I'm like, I don't know. Everything was just, I don't know. And he's like, well, you better make sure. I'm like, okay. But now I know how to use it.
Okay.
Like, I read through it, and back then I read through it too, but I just didn't know how to use it.
You didn't know
I didn't know how to comprehend, or I didn't know how to translate that back into my design.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So for someone out there who might be feeling the same thing, how do you do that now when you're designing something and you have the strategy deck in mind? Like, how do you translate that and apply it to what you're designing?
So everything you design, you got to think, is that what my customer wants? Am I solving their pain point? Am I elevating their business? That's like one of their goals, right? Is this one of the goals that they're trying to achieve?
Got
Just
it.
stuff like that, questions like that. And also when I designed the stylescape, I didn't know how to refer back to the stylescape when I designed this whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah, Chris was like, did you just design the stylescape and just forget about it? I'm like, oh yeah, like,
Yeah.
Didn't know how to reflect back or, refer back to the stylescape and be like, oh, I used this thing, so when I design the website, I should use this.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So in theory, the way it should work is you start very broad with strategy, and you kind of like funnel and get more like specific.
Yeah.
So by the time you're designing something,
it should be very clear.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it sounds like from this experience, every like phase of the way, you were just like, cool, start over. What are we doing now? What is
it was
this?
like that. Chris was like, why are you starting over? I don't understand. You already like built everything. It's already there for you. Like, why don't you use it? I'm like, oh yeah, like.
Why do you think that was?
I think it's in design school, they don't teach you that. They don't do a stylescape. I think that's what it was. And also in design school, or from my experience, everything is just you figure it out by yourself. You start everything from scratch. And so in this work, I just started everything from scratch.
Started over everything.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, knowing what you know, what kind of problems do you run into during the process?
Probably looking for reference photos for the stylescapes.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes you want a specific style and you just can't find it, or you're finding all these references and it doesn't reflect back to what the customer wants.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what happens then if you're like if you're stuck? What do you do?
I think in that specific situation, you just have to keep looking. I haven't found a solution for that.
Okay.
You know, there's a better way that you know of. You can share with me, but in that situation, I really don't know. You just gotta dig deeper. You know.
I have an idea.
Yeah.
I might be like shooting myself in the foot here, but I think if you hit that point of struggle where you feel like you've exhausted your search and you don't know like what to look for next, I feel like it's time to do a different search, or look somewhere else. You know, use a different search string, right? So if you're trying to find like young office tech conference room, like pull up a thesaurus, try some different things.
Right.
And I think also, you know, talk to another person on the team, or, you know, like kind of let someone know, oh, I'm struggling with this. Can you have any ideas? Can you help me like find this? This was really interesting to take a look at how far you've come as a designer. I had not seen a lot of Emily's earlier work, and I'm familiar with like more recent stuff.
Right.
So I think just working together over time, all the way from like internship to, you know, present day, and also taking a minute to review everything, you've grown so much. There's like a huge gap between where you started and where you are, you know, and I think that's evident in the work and the way you present the work, and also the way you talk and think about it. Because I think earlier on it was like,
it looks cool.
What was I thinking? I don't remember, kind of thing. Which, as you said, is a terrific sign of growth.
Yeah.
So now that we've kind of looked through your entire portfolio and you've had a chance to, I hope, kind of reflect on this stuff, what do you observe about where you started and where you are today as a designer?
I think you could see my packaging project, everything was just arbitrary. It looks cool and I'm just gonna do it. Everything was based on how it looked visually. But now when I do design work, it's mainly about the customer and the client, what they want and what their pain point is. Am I solving a design problem? Am I making a difference in their business? Am I helping them? I think that's what I'm thinking about when I design. Yeah.
A little more thought is going into
Yeah, a little
that.
more thought.
And you know what? It looks great too.
Yeah.
So there's always that balance, you know? Like it can be the most conceptually amazing thing.
Yeah.
It also needs to look great.
Right. Save the look great only for your personal projects.
I mean, apply it to these projects.
No, I meant like only look great. Yeah.
Passion project, sure.
Yeah.
I think the ability to balance that, you know, like conceptually having a really strong idea, good strategy, and purpose behind what you're designing, I think that actually makes it a lot easier to do good design, so to speak.
It saves you a lot of like moments when you're stuck or like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, because you have a metric to measure it by.
Yeah.
Does it solve my problem? Is it doing what I promised? You know, is it gonna help this specific thing for what the client needs? You're a good designer. You can design good things. So when you can combine that, like, you know, form and function, I think it shows. All right, well, that does it. Emily, thank you so much for taking a moment out of your day and
thanks for having me.
Digging up the time capsule and reliving all that stuff. I learned a lot. I hope you guys did too. Anything you want to share with the audience while we're here?
No. If you guys have any questions, you guys can always just leave a comment down on the comment section, and I'll do my best to try to answer all of them.
Cool. Yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you learned something. And you heard it from Emily. She'll answer every single question you ask in the comments below. So leave a comment. Let us know what you thought. And thanks for sticking around. See you next time.